Swartland Rally drew 2 entries in Class N2. Rian and wife Hestrie Erasmus were leading the battle between themselves and the Team React Mitsubishi Lancer of Stephen White and Jonathan Bright. In the top S2000 class, Habig was still leading the way with a 20-second advantage over Damso, with Gemmel a further 15 seconds back. Wilken had control of the production cars and Class N4. Adrian Karth was only 11 seconds ahead of Evan Hutchison in Class A7, while Stefan Wilken and Mohamed Musa had 16 seconds between them in Class A6. Kleinwerk was minutes ahead of the Class A5 field, and Rodney Versage had a commanding Class N3 lead. This is day 2 of the Swartland Rally with only 5 stages and 115 kilometers to go. Hurricane Pecken might be in 8th position overall, but that's all he needs to become the Sasol South African Rally champion. Habig won the first round of the year, and it was great to see the current champion at the top of the leaderboard.
We had a pretty good day yesterday. The car's putting extremely well. I think the last time it went that well was the first rally this year.
Damso has won many rallies in the Cape over the years, but Jean-Pierre was chasing his first ever overall win.
We've got a couple of seconds to make up that as well, so it's going to be quite tight. And gain the short one now first.
Gemmel would launch his attack on day 2 from 3rd position.
Some long stages.
Wilken's position again required a mature approach.
Well, close, but yeah, it seems like a long way, but hopefully we can just keep it clean today, keep our lead, and yeah, that's a bang.
The top 8 drivers get to choose their starting positions on day 2, leaving Fernando Rueda with the unenviable task of being the first car on the road.
Anyway, we take it as it comes. We didn't go all that clean yesterday. We had a couple of issues on 1 and 2, and hopefully today we'll go a bit quicker.
Whereas the 2 gravel stages on the Friday of the Swartland Rally were on the eastern side of the N7, stage 5 was west of Malmesbury and Maritzburg. Fortunately, the rain stayed away on Friday, making these 2 stages somewhat more drivable, although still very wet. Stage 5 was a 12-kilometer affair that would also pass through some farmyards and loads of spectators. Fernando Rueda and Dave Lefkowitz were the first ones to try the testing conditions in their Total Evolution Mitsubishi Lancer. The Spaniard still had high hopes of catching Wilken and set a time of 6 minutes and 54 seconds. But the Sasol Konica Minolta Subaru of Wilken and Godrich went 10 seconds quicker to further extend their overall production car lead.
Lead 200, max crest, into max right 1 through gate, then 100, 100 small max crest, then C1.
Enzo Keen and Guy Hodgson were plagued by a continuous misfire under the bonnet of their BP Ultimate Polo, which just took the edge off their challenge on day 1. They started day 2 with a time of 6 minutes and 34 seconds. The only remaining Castrol Toyota, driven by Johnny Gemmel and Peter Marsh, had another podium finish in its sights and completed this stage just 1 second slower than Keen. Rally leaders Jan Habig and Douglas Judd chose to be 5th on the road for day 2. It seemed like a good choice, as the BP Ultimate Polo recorded exactly the same time as the Runnings, thus maintaining the gap between 1st and 3rd.
Yeah, it was a good stage. It was pretty quick and flowing. Yeah, enjoyed it.
John and Douglas Williams and the Williams Polo were still making steady progress. A solid and consistent drive so far sees the youngster occupy 6th overall.
Yeah, it was a bit tricky, especially coming up to those 90 lefts and rights. Quite a lot of mud in the corners, but it was okay.
For Fecken and Harries, the Swartland Rally was all about winning the overall war and not the battle of the rally. After fighting hard all season, this was the event to take it slow and to ensure that the BP Ultimate Polo reaches the end safely.
150, long left 4, tightens to 9 over muddy, into left 7, C350, slippy, tight, left 9 through gate bumpy.
There's a lot of water splashes and we just took them slow. It's not that we lost any time, it's just taking it a bit easy over the wet stuff.
With nothing to lose and the prospect of becoming the second generation of Damsos to win national rallies, Jean-Pierre launched his attack on the first stage of day 2. The Total Evolution Runnings covered the 12 kilometers at Goede Hoop in a time of 6 minutes and 29 seconds, or 5 seconds faster than anyone else, narrowing the gap to Habig's lead to just 14 seconds. The fight was on.
We had a good stage there. We'll see now on this next one, the third decider.
The Swartland Rally was now reaching the business end of things. Championships, class titles, personal glory and victory, it was now all up for grabs. But first, the small matter of covering the long 47 kilometers of Langvlei again. Stage 6 was a repeat of stage 1 from the day before. And then it's off to Swenke, another chance to find out how deep the waterlogged drifts would be. Jean-Pierre Damso and Cobus Frey were on a mission. The roads were drier than the day before, but also rougher, as the surface had been worn out. This couldn't bother the Team Total Evolution Runnings in the least, as Damso flew through stage 6 in a time of 25 minutes and 53 seconds, beating Habig's winning time from the day before by a massive 1 minute and 4 seconds. The younger Damso wasn't done yet. He continued his onslaught on the next stage, setting the fastest time yet again to record a third successive stage win. The Swartland Rally had a new leader for the first time since Habig took control on day 1.
We took it a bit easy there in the beginning, but looks like the time was good. It's all right, so one more 12K and then 12 makes it.
Habig and Judd recorded a time of 26 minutes and 27 seconds, exactly half a minute faster than the day before, but it wasn't enough to keep the charging Damso at bay. To make things even worse, the BP Ultimate Polo encountered all sorts of problems on stage 7, losing a massive 40 seconds in the process. Habig was understandably not happy. By now, some of the standing water has also made its way into the engine of Johnny Gemmell and Peter Marsh's Cashwalk Toyota Runnings, causing a power-sapping misfire. The luckless Gemmell dropped from a fighting podium position to 4th overall after these two long and tough stages. But one man's pain, however, is another man's gain, as Enzo Keen and Guy Hodgson managed to get rid of their day 1 misfire. The BP Ultimate Polo set the second quickest time on Saturday's first 3 stages, moving him past Gemmell and right into 3rd position.
I think we can catch the front runners, but we're certainly eating away at their lead.
Inside the Williams Polo of John and Doug, the young John maintained his steady pace to make 5th position his own. Williams was much happier with the performance of his Polo on the Swartland Rally, with no serious problems preventing him from concentrating on his driving, and it showed. The Sasol Konica Minolta Subaru of Charles Wilken and Greg Godrich was settling into a good rhythm and 6th position overall. More importantly, Wilken was leading the rest of the Class N4 and production car drivers. A points finish on the Swartland Rally would earn him the Class N4 title, but it's the overall production car title that he was after.
And wide open left 7.
The only ones with a mathematical chance of preventing Wilken from taking the production car crown were former champion Fernando Rueda and current champion Visser du Plessis. The Team Total Evolution Mitsubishi Lancer of Rueda and Lefkowitz was having a steady day and lying second in production cars, but not really within striking distance. Du Plessis and Gerard Snyman were having a quiet day in their Pertex Subaru, lying 3rd in production cars. Du Plessis was able to set competitive stage times on day 2, but he wasn't able to make up the time that he lost on day 1.
Listen, if you want to speak to the current production car champion, talk to me now, because I am still the current champion for about another 45 minutes, another 3 stages, then personally I think Charles would have clinched it. And I want to tell you, Charles, you deserve it.
With all the action and drama up front, it was almost easy to forget about the champions-elect Ergen Fekken and Pierre Aries, who were driving conservatively in 7th place. It was strange to see the flying Fekken driving safely, probably for the first time since climbing into an S2000. But his hard work early in the season allowed him to pace himself all the way to the championship.
Into grid. Into left 2, C350.
Nicholas Ryan and Andre Vermeulen were slowly but surely clawing their way back into the top 10 in their Philips Toyota Runnings. Ryan's pace and commitment this season was a real breath of fresh air in the top S2000 class until a big crash on the Swartland Rally destroyed the Runix. The car was rebuilt, and together with the experience of Andre Vermeulen, Ryan was driving well while getting his confidence back. But rallying can be an extremely cool sport.
This one?
Not again. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Alright.
Where do you know?
The Runix does not like jumping very much, and the result was very similar to the incident that also claimed the Runix of Etienne Lawrence and, wait for it, Andre Vermeulen during the 2007 Swartland Rally. After the break, the Swartland Rally returns with more action. Will we have a new winner? And will we have a new champion? At the front of the Swartland Rally, JP Damser was on a charge to try and write his name on a Swartland Rally trophy. A trophy that already features the name of a Damser. Remember the name, Serge? But behind the leaders, the green and yellow wheat and canola fields also provided the scene for many more battles in all the various classes. Evan Hutchison and Greg Gericke were on track for their best ever finish in the Class A7 motorized Toyota Runix, but they fell prey to the same waterlogged drift that claimed the life of the casual Toyota Auris on day one. Etienne Lawrence and Alvin Coetzee lost the clutch in their HRD and Ford Racing Fiesta, whereas an S2000 can still manage without a clutch thanks to its expensive sequential gearbox. It is much more difficult than a standard production car. Lawrence and Coetzee fought bravely, but gave up the fight after stage 5. Ergen Ficken was not the only one driving with a championship in mind. In Class A5, Andre Kleinberg was doing the same.
There's only 2 cars left in the class at the moment, so we're laying first. So the objective is just to finish the event now, and that means taking no risks. Doesn't necessarily mean slowing down. It just means taking no risks.
So with just a repeat of stage 5, run at stage 8, and the final blast around the Killarney racing circuit to go, it was time to formulate final strategies.
I think the only maximum attack, we want to try and win the rally. Enzo can still gain a place or two, you don't know, there's so many things in the tail in the rally, and Ergen is driving for the championship. He's going to go and stay on the road and finish.
Stage 8 was a repeat of stage 5, run earlier on the day, so the drivers would now all be familiar with the conditions. It was also the last real chance for anyone to try and make a move.